Okay, Dave, in your own time.
Right, my name is David Surnman and I will now be telling you about my professional development and work experience and where it was and what I've done. Right, I was doing my work experience in the Methodist Centre at St Beaconsfield in Toxteth, just off Princess Avenue, and it's a centre for the local community and stuff. Right, the main aims of the Methodist Centre are to provide a community centre for the Granby Princess Park area of Toxteth, to bring together the local community, to provide a youth club for youngsters in the area aged 11 to 25, and also helping people in the community to attend qualification-based projects, and also providing a recording studio that can be used by anyone in the community that may not normally have the chance to do so. The people I was working with was Spencer Joel. He's the manager. He's been working there as the manager for the last 15, 16 years now. He's a good fella. And Graham Lysett, who John probably knows because he attended this similar course to what we're doing. And he's now the music project coordinator at the Methodist. Excuse me. My roles, what I was doing when I was working there, well I still work there now, was working with kids in the local area, encouraging them to come to the youth club and telling them what's available and stuff, and helping them to gain knowledge of a recording studio. Also, what I've been doing for years as well, and I also done as part of this, is teaching basic DJ techniques, and also with Graham supervising with the teaching of AQA music and music tech qualifications.
What do you mean AKA?
I'm not 100% what AQA stands for. I can't remember. But it's AQA anyway. It's a qualification. It's a recognised government qualification, isn't it? Right. Anyway. And also I was helping with general youth work around the youth club on a day-to-day basis, which I still do now. See, that shouldn't be there. Well, anyway, before I had that mishap of putting the slide in the wrong place, I also helped with the general youth work as well. In the Methodist, they've got a big studio. It cost just over £15,000 to build. That included building the room and the booth, and buying the equipment that was used. And in the studio, the main thing they do is computer-based music production using the likes of Pro Tools, Reason, Logic, and Cubase. Teaching kids how to get to grips with the basics of using Pro Tools, recording tracks, making tracks with Reason, Logic, and Cubase. And also using the equipment they have in there. They've got a nice mixing desk and microphones and stuff. I think this is all in the wrong order, but I'll go with it. Using the equipment to record their own tracks, and also helping the kids that come to there develop confidence, whether it be just in general life or rapping or singing. Also, when I was working in the studio, we helped people gain basic AQA accredited qualifications, and the 4 we done was computer music production, which was using Reason, Cubase, Pro Tools, and Logic, making their own tracks and stuff, and learning how to the basics of, for instance, how to load audio into a track, how to record MIDI and things like that. The other one we done was record a music track, which involved using Pro Tools and setting up the microphones and setting up the mixing desk with the right channels and stuff to record on, setting up a listen back for the person in the booth so they could hear the track that they're going to use to sing or rap over. Basic DJ techniques which involved beat matching and things like that, and also setting up the recording session, making sure all the correct wires go in the right places and stuff. Also as well, while I was there, I was helping Graham Lysett, just watching him how he teaches level 1, 2 and 3 music tech in the Methodist Centre to the local community and things like that. And while I was doing this, he was showing me a lot of new learning techniques and teaching young people what is needed to help them achieve their goals. Right, when we were doing the basic DJ techniques qualification, one of the things we had to teach them was basic beat matching, finding the first beat of the record and things like that, learn how to count beats and bars, which is the same, learning the cue point to different parts of the track that they can start mixing from, and then fading it in and out the tracks to mix them. And then the final thing they had to do for that was record a 4-track mix, which was recorded onto a CD, and then that was given in for the evaluation, and Graham does all that and then he sends it off and it's evaluated. Other things I've done while I was there was a load of general youth work, like helping set up the youth club where we turn up at like 6 o'clock most nights, like getting the pool table out, setting the balls up, making sure there's food and crisps for them to buy, talking to the kids if they need anything. Also, if no one's interested in using the studio, we'd set up some sports activities like organise a game of football, a pool tournament or a table tennis tournament, and they also have set up a little hub for the kids and 2 computers where they can use the internet if they haven't got it at home, and also help them with the preparation of food. I think this was all in the wrong cover there. Right. Well, while I've been there, I've learned a lot more about teaching music technology to young people and the things that it involves, and I've gained more confidence in doing it. And also, my DJ course is now more popular than ever. If you want to apply, come and speak to me, and you can do it at the Methodist. It's very cheap. There's a lot more people since I've been doing it there now. A lot more people come and do it.
Can I go?
What?
Can I go?
Yeah, £25 an hour, and you can have 8 people with you. And also, I've learnt a lot more about working with disadvantaged people in the community, like troubled youngsters who don't have much of a home life, and they come to the centre because the home life is a bit rubbish and it's a bit of an escape for them. And also, I've gained a lot more experience working as a youth worker, which is one thing I may look to go into fully in the future. Right, the things I want to do next is, I feel that with the experience I've gained, I'll find it a lot easier to look for jobs working with disadvantaged kids and working in a community of people that is disadvantaged. And maybe in the future also, I'd like to teach music tech maybe full time in a youth centre or a community centre environment. I'd just like to thank the people of Granby, Princess Park and Toxteth Ford, Spencer Joel, Graham Lysett, the kids at the Methodist Youth Centre, and also Michelle who cooks the food that I forgot to put on. And also, DJ courses available. For more details, contact me. Studio hire, £50 a day, which is very cheap, and it's only round the corner, just off the Ave. And also sound engineer, £20 an hour, or £20 a day, that should say, really. And here's an example of, and you can also see the studio we use, an example of one of the tracks that I've recorded in there.
consistent, don't wanna fall. Oh yeah, yeah, cool, but I thought big bars, I sprayed them, people on the scene, and then it was me hard, and I'm really getting breeze, bigger than the sea. And the door, when I'm in, with the feet, others on the beat, when I'm on the tube, gonna kill them, see. You know, I'm setting up, I'm over the limits of my brother's soul, I'm on the rhythm, when I'm beat, honestly. I don't think he was ready for that one. Flow so fast, I'm gonna live a that one. Try to get home, guys, and we'll get up into the back truck. He gets out, stop putting the hat on. So made up like me, cause I'm a spouse, and Liverpool, that's where I'm from. And I can't change that one. I'll do music till I'm in a deathbed. Cause I'm hungry, and then I'll get fed. And every time I make up, I'm thinking of ways to move to the next step. I want this as my full-time job, music non-stop, cruising on top. Not half-hearted, cause I'm gonna be consistent, don't wanna fall. What everyone is cast with close up on the roads and nose and scratch to the MC. Got wanna get on my way, when I let a fight spray, they gonna get jammed. He's hitting the thing till they got to me. I don't care about none of them, honestly. I wanna make dope for my one so she can stop putting a pound in the lottery. I knew when I told no action, I know education comes with what for them in matter, right a bit more than I'm meant to be in and all about factors. Rational, what's the best of the baby? I'm a player from former GCSEs and I know I need to do some more impossible when I get his daughter great feet. I'll do music till I'm in a deathbed, cause I'm hungry and I don't get fed. And every time I make up, I'm thinking of ways to move to the next step. I want this as my full-time job, music non-stop, cruising on top. Not half-hearted, cause I'm gonna be consistent, don't wanna fall. Trust me, I've made mistakes, and I've had so-called mates. So big love, but baby, deep down inside, I know that when I bring up my place, I try and big for the truth, no time, the rules, I'll make the most of it, close to the elegance. All to the down, but I want this down, living down to the back of them bitch like terrorists. I'll obvious me like a terrorist. I bring on to the top, I fall with a switch, still open out, they're not evident. Just be a classic, sort of like heroin. I'm in the spring of 16, I'm in teardrops, come from the eyes, and then you run away like definitely. I'm sick, I'm taking my medicine. I'll do music till I'm in a deathbed, cause I'm hungry and I don't get fed. And every time I make up, I'm thinking of ways to move to the next step. I want this as my full-time job, music non-stop, cruising on top. Not half-hearted, cause I'm gonna be consistent, don't wanna fall. Do music till I'm in a deathbed, cause I'm hungry and I don't get fed. And every time I move up, I'm thinking of ways to move to the next step. I want this as my full-time job, music non-stop, cruising on top. No half-hearted, cause I wanna all gotta be consistent, don't wanna fall.
I chose that track as an example at the end because, as you can see, the video was filmed by Alex and I recorded and produced that track. Cast was the MC on that track, aka Isaac Hill. And as you could see the studio and stuff on that. So thank you very much, and any questions will be answered.
Okay, anyone got any questions? Victor or Kaylee?
Would you want to go into teaching, like in a college, like here, or
No.
just like community work?
Doesn't interest me teaching in a college. I don't think like that. I like teaching kids that were like me when I grew up. I suppose you get a lot of that in a college. I could look into it, but my main thing I want to do is work with kids in the area I grew up in mainly. I suppose it's called what's the word for it? Putting back in what you got out of it, I suppose, innit? Things like that. But yeah, I don't know. If the opportunity came around and it was the right money, the right price to work in a college and it was a good job, good prospects, maybe I'd think about it, yeah. But for the time being, I'm quite happy working in the youth club environment because that's just what I like doing. Any more questions? I'll craft some around them.
Do you get? Have you got anything else you wanna? Obviously, if there's more people here, then you might get a bit more. Other than me questioning you. Just curiously, are you getting? Obviously, you're still there doing what you're doing. Is that on a voluntary basis at the moment, or?
No, I'm getting paid at the minute, like for it. It's not enough money, but you know. It's
as in, okay, so have you looked at it from the perspective how you could maybe expand upon that? Like, could you set up somewhere in another area, like Merseyside, or?
I suppose I could, but I don't want to do that. I want to continue working in the area I'm from, and like I said, you know, I like working at the Methodist Centre, somewhere I went to when I was a kid.
And they were running music courses there, were they? Or?
No.
No, but it's okay.
Only the last few years. Also as well, like they They've also built a salon and a dance studio in there now as well. So if you want your hair done,
Is it?
go there.
Yeah.
And also now, I'll just put a little advert in, on a Friday mornings now, full English breakfast, £2.50. And then in the evening, there's a Caribbean chef, lamb and rice, £3.50 takeaway, and chicken and rice, £3.50 takeaway. I just thought I'd put that one in there.
I'll have to remember that.
Oh, and tomorrow, fried plantain. I've never eaten that before, but I'll try it.
It's like sweet potato, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a root vegetable, innit?
Is it? It sounds like then. Is it open like sort of 9 in the morning till 9 at night?
Yeah, it's not just for kids. It's a community youth centre. It's a community centre, like, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Like you can't get it mixed up with like let's say one half of it is a Methodist as in the word Methodist means religion, doesn't it? You know what I mean? But it's just called the Methodist Centre. One half of it is still a church. The other half has nothing to do with the church. Do you know what I mean? It's funded by the youth service in Liverpool City Council at the minute, like.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what a lot of people, when I say to them, work in a Methodist centre, they're like, are you religious or something, you know what I mean? But it's got nothing to do with religion, like, you know what I mean? And it caters for all walks of life. Muslims, Sikhs, Christians.
I suppose, getting off point a little bit maybe, but the biggest issue with your work placements is you were doing it before,
Yeah.
and you're doing it now, so there's an issue there. I'm sure you know where I'm going. That it's like you've not potentially like maybe gone and looked at some other sides of things or stretched yourself as much.
No,
as
but
you could do.
I always knew I was going to do my work experience there, like, from the offset since the first year when we used to do what was that lesson we used to do with Brian? Like, it was like a professional kind of development thing.
Yeah.
And I always knew, because I knew we had to do a work experience, and I'd spoke to Graham months and months ago and said, I want to do my work experience. So basically, you know, the things like working with Graham when he was teaching the level 1, 2 and 3 qualification, I wasn't getting paid for. That was something I wouldn't have been asked to do unless I was doing the work experience, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. What was your biggest challenge then?
Yeah. Biggest challenge? Dealing with violent kids. Kids that can be violent, do you know what I mean?
But I guess though,
and things like
that wouldn't, just pause you on that. That wouldn't be a challenge from the work placement in the sense that that's all the time you've been there. That will be something you've been dealing with.
Oh no, I suppose biggest challenge would be.
It's like the stretching you, if you like. What stretched you in this?
Yeah,
you know, if your learning objectives were just like, say, like my learning objectives were just to stay in my comfort zone, then I'm not really learning anything, am I? So that's what I'm just looking for. If you, like, were you left to teach classes and you'd never done that before, or were you in charge?
No, as far as my confidence went, you know, I was left to like supervise. You know, when Graham went for his lunch or something, I'd stay in. Or when there was days when Graham wasn't in, and he'd say to me, "Right, these people need to complete their." They were doing, I think it was a.
So you're running. You at that point you'd be running those.
Yeah, I was pretty much running the sessions. Like there was one point where they had to do, you know, like that thing you done with us on GarageBand, and you said remix that. What track was that? You know what I mean? The track, yeah. They were doing a. I think it was that. Who sings that tune? Tainted Love.
Oh, Soft Cell.
Soft Cell, yeah. They had all the parts of that, and they had to do their own version of it. You know what I mean? And I was left like there was like 3 or 4 days I'd done that for.
Yeah.
You know, to help them get it completed using Logic. And if anyone wanted to use Cubase, they could have, but they all done it in Logic in the end.
And how many hours would you say you did then? Like loads, because you sort of were there on the run up to. I suppose it's kind of like trying to isolate.
Let's say from September, I worked out if I went from September to use this as my work experience, which is when I started helping Graham with the level 1, 2 and 3 music tech thing. I'd say maybe maybe 10 hours a week since September to Wow.
Oh yeah, it's lots of, well, several
It's a
hundred
lot
hours.
of time,
like,
that's longer than...
What do you reckon then?
7 weeks would fulfil your 70 hours, so it's a lot more than that.
What would be your next step then? How do you think you can kind of maybe take this to the next level?
Yeah, convince Spencer to give me a full-time job, which he might do. He doesn't know.
Do you reckon that's based on the marketing then? Like if you could get like more people using the studio and then...
Yeah, well I do, that's what I mean. I'm like the Pied Piper, aren't I? Little rats follow me around.
get them all in
if you know what
then.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
No, it's just a thing like, you know, I'm from that area and I know a lot of the kids' parents, so the kids have known me since they were like, couldn't even speak, you know what I mean, things like that.
Yeah.
So it's a lot different than if they got someone, let's say from Norris Green or something, or even Old Swan, even Egbert, who had a lot more experience than me, probably wouldn't get on in there as well, do you know what I mean? Because I know the place, I know the community, I know the people that come in and out and stuff, and things like that, like, so it works, like.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, and there is potential as well. You know, maybe not to work in a studio full time, but you know, just to work there as a youth worker full time, like a community leader type thing, like.
Yeah. I mean, maybe look into that sort of thing with the qualifications and stuff like that.
Yeah, well,
that
Spencer said to me,
getting.
he said to me, maybe I was speaking to Steve Kelly about this, and he said, I think that works a lot of the time, and the youth service like is that MVQ level 2. Was it like MVQ? It's an MVQ. I don't know whether it's level 2. I think it's MVQ level 2 in youth work.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people have said to me, go and do that. Like even Steve Kelly was saying, you know, look into doing it like you should do, because he's going to find out the information for me to do it.
It's a combination as well, isn't it? Like you have a combo of qualifications.
That's
or
it.
Like put you into a niche area then, don't they? Like so.
And then you can expand. You can look at more jobs and stuff, can't you? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Done.
Pause this. All right.
Cool.
Okay, stuff. Okay.